everybody. Welcome to another subject of, oh my God, can we take two? Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Subject to Change. I'm Lauren Stanek, and with me is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Jody Smits-Anderson.
Welcome to Subject to Change, a sustainability podcast.
My job is to make sure they graduate from high school, enroll, and graduate from college.
Our guest is Kenyon Black.
So I'm really excited to introduce everyone to Kenyon Black. He is our local Upward Bound coordinator. What's your appropriate title, Kenyon?
It's a director. Yep.
Director. Mm-hmm. Way better than a coordinator. My bad. Yeah. Anyway, with that, Kenyon, can you tell us a little bit about the Upward Bound program so that we can get everybody just adjusted to it right off the bat?
Okay, now I can babble, so tell me when to cut it off. Okay, so Upward Bound is a program that started in 1965 here at LeMoyne. It's one of the original pilot programs. I want to say there was like 19 programs at the time. I might be wrong with that number, but it's one of the original programs. So it was signed by Lyndon B. Johnson. So this is a major program that was needed, and it's all over the country. So it's not like a Syracuse thing. It's all over the country, and so the program designed to service first-generation low-income students.
Upward Bound is good for the parents, too.
Yeah, we need an Upward Bound for parents, too, because quite frankly, everyone kind of assumed that we would know how to navigate college and all of that work and that we would understand what the transition would entail, and we had no clue.
We have a thing called a PAB, the Parent Advisory Board. And we meet with the parents. We go over everything from the transition to high school, how to, what a parent-teacher conference is like. For a lot of parents, they're turned off with the idea of a parent-teacher conference, maybe because as a kid, when they were in school, it was a bad experience, it was a traumatic experience, or whatever the case may be. We do everything from financial literacy. We talk to the parents about saving. We talk to the parents about what's going to happen 4 years from now when you have to apply to colleges, the FAFSA, the CSS profile, all these things that parents have to be prepared for, but it starts now. We tell the kids, when you go from 8th to 9th grade, colleges want to see, how did you do? Did your grades drop?
Yeah.
Colleges pay attention to, are your grades better in the summer or in the spring or in the fall, in the winter, does your grades drop? Like there's all the different mechanisms that they try to figure out who the student is. We talk to the parents about that because everything we do, it can't just be here. It has to go back home with them.
Stop the dominoes from falling.
So the whole goal is to stop the domino from falling the way they've always been falling. So we want to, a first generation kid, student, once they graduate, they put themselves in a different company. Now, mind you, how many kids actually work in a field that they got a degree in is very low. Like most people just have a degree and they end up doing something different. But having that piece of paper puts you in a different box. So now you can, so like when you fill out an application, they ask for your name, social security number, and your education. So you can mark out the box to say, yes, I have a 4-year degree or I have a 2-year degree, things like that. So we are stopping the generational curse of lack of education and family. Now, education is not just, a degree as well, but it's being smart and knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, every kid is not college bound. We know that, but being able to get a certification, to get something that's going to allow you to get a better job, to better financially, help with your family, and then just, create a better situation for you and your family.
What about college costs?
How is it? I know so many people who struggle to pay their student loans at this point. They went through a program, they've got student loans, now they're struggling to, have a livelihood and pay these loans off. So how does that work with your students, and how is it, in New York State, is it any easier now because there's some programs, for example, with the SUNY schools? Like, how is that maybe helped or not?
So yeah, the different programs that take care of the tuition are great. But it's still a financial obligation from your family.
Yeah.
Get beyond the name of a college. So some kids, you say Harvard, they know that. You say Syracuse University, because they're from here, they know that. There are some great institutions out here that offer great education, high graduation rates, better job placements. We just have to find them. So now you have to be more intentional. What do you want to be when you get older? So the kids always say to me, Mr. Black, I want a job like the way you have your job. Like you like coming to work. You're always smiling. You gotta find. So I tell them, what are you passionate about? What there is a career for everything. And so some kids are stuck on the money part of it. Now, getting into college is not that hard. It's not as hard as people think it is. Being able to afford college, that's where the problem comes in. There are kids out here who are signing these pieces of paper, and they go into this debt, and then they can't get out of it. And they can't transfer to another school because they owe this school money. They can't get their transcript. There's a game, and we have to educate our kids on how to play this game.
Remote learning benefits.
What I will say this, my high school daughter, or even kids in my program in high school, they're going to be better prepared for college and this style of learning, of having like a syllabus, and this is what's due. And then, but it comes back to time management. And that's why we have to make sure everything we do now is very intentional. My staff, again, and I would brag about them just like I do my kids, my staff, they are hip to what's coming down now. What's the new trend? What's the new style? The school district did a great job of transitioning from, even though it was abruptly that it happened, like, oh, now we have to go remote learning. So at the end of last year, it was kind of like it was chaos. But now, the beginning of the school year so far, they were better prepared. Right. Kids had devices. They created a curriculum that would, fit the kids' schedules. Give them that Wednesday to kind of recuperate, because they go to school Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's going to be college for a lot of them. Like, you might have a class only on Mondays and Wednesdays, and you got to make it all work. So, but to your son, I have kids in my, that was in my program that's in college now. That was hard for them because the temptation to turn on Netflix or to complete this homework assignment was challenging, and the sleep patterns were out of whack too. So kids would stay up later, and then they would sleep later, and so it was just so many different dynamics, and it's affecting the college kids as well. But I hope the colleges pick up on the trend, how some kids are actually doing well this way. And this might be the best option for them.
This has been Subject to Change. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Jody Smits-Anderson. Thank you so much for joining us for Subject to Change. It has been a revelation the past hour and an inspiration. Thank you, Kenyon. Wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for spending your time with us and teaching us a bit more about not only Upward Bound, but about how we can help all of the kids and all of the people in our lives to be better stewards of not just themselves, but their peers and family members, and knowing that there are resources out there that we can all be reaching out to be resilient in ourselves and each other.